Hey everyone! In today's video, I'm going to be working with the new Chameleon Color Tones colored pencils that I got a chance to see at CHA. And I'm finally getting a chance to play with these awesome pencils, and I just love them. What's unique about these pencils is each pencil has a different color on each end, and they're paired to be harmonious. So you can just flip your pencil from one end to another to blend, and that makes them very, very unique. We are doing a product focus on these at Splitcoaststampers this week, and so I'm opening these and trying them for the first time with you today, and I'm very excited about it. One of the things that's always impressed me about Chameleon is their packaging. I'm kind of a packaging freak. And everything they do comes in a box, usually with a magnetic closure. These pencils have a magnetic closure as well. But it's this beautiful black on black, shiny and matte contrast on all of their boxes that I just think is super classy and fun. I like my stuff to come in a nice box I can store. So here are the instructions, and they show you the two ends of the pencils and how they blend. And of course, because I don't read instructions, I'm just going to put that away and get to work trying these pencils out. Now you can see they already come sharpened to a nice point. And I'm going to try them on two different kinds of cardstock today. So first I have the new Happy Birthday Thinlet from the new Stampin' Up! Catalog. Goes live June 1st. And I've cut this out of some Canson Bristol vellum, and you can see I've taped the die cut back into the negative space, just to give me something to kind of hold on to while I'm coloring. So I'm going to start, this is a sped up coloring, with a red pencil that has an orangey red on the opposite side, and you can see I'm just flipping to blend these two. And I need to stick this onto the tape just a little bit better. It's coming up a little bit before I carry on. But I can't even tell you how convenient it is just to be able to flip the pencil instead of putting your pencil down and reaching for another one. Coloring for me takes a lot of time. And I know it doesn't seem like a lot of time to grab another pencil, but it really adds a lot of time to your coloring. You'd be surprised. So once I did the red and orange, then I moved to an orange and then kind of a melon color that are on the same pencil. I think they've chosen these colors really well. They're very harmonious. And then this is a lighter melon to more of a lemon yellow. You might have caught on, I'm doing a little rainbow on the Happy. And these are so incredibly smooth and blend so well. I am super impressed. I would say right out of the bat that they initially blend much more smoothly than my Prismacolors do. They were buttery. I don't know how else to say it. I'm moving on to green and then onto a teal with a darker blue at the end to finish out my rainbow. And I'm going back with each color just to blend the two together. But I'm really pleased with how these are going down on, again, this is Canson Bristol vellum, so this is a very smooth surface cardstock. I wanted to try it on a smooth cardstock, and I wanted to try it on one with a little bit more tooth, because that's typically what I do when I get a new set of pencils, just to see how they behave. Now the bottom of this die cut is going to be glimmer paper. I'm not going to color that, but I am going to go around the edges of the die cut where it's still white on the sides, sort of like you do with Copic markers when you go around the edges with black, just to give it a more finished look and eliminate that stark white border around the word happy. And these are sharp enough that I can kind of get in all those little nooks and crannies and do any final blending that I need to do. I'm loving these things. So next, my cardstock with a little more tooth is Crumb Cake cardstock from Stampin' Up! This is one of my favorite things to do, is use colored pencils on darker cardstock, because I think it gives it that glow that you can only get with colored pencils. So I'm stamping this image from Crafting Forever which is another new Stampin' Up! Stamp set. So cute. It's all about being creative. And I love this little pot with the paintbrushes in it. Just speaks to me. And whenever I use darker cardstock, I always start with white. That's what gives it the glow. So I always put down a layer of white underneath everything I do. Now, these you want to have a light hand when you're putting down the white because you are going to be adding several layers of color on top of it. In this case, I'm going for a terracotta look. So I'm starting with the lighter brown on this pencil, and I'll list all the colors because they actually have a nice numbering system that makes it easy for you to identify which colors you're using. I will list them in my blog post and in the YouTube description below. But these two blend perfectly and they make the perfect terracotta. I can't tell you how nice it is to use one pencil and flip. This can be a little bit addicting. This is kind of their thing at Chameleon. So with their markers, they have what they call the one pen blend. So they have their blending solution in a little mixing chamber, and you can get gradations of color with a single marker. And so they've carried that into this pencil line, which I found fascinating at CHA. I got to play with these for like 10 seconds. And of course, you can't buy anything at CHA. So it was just so incredibly frustrating as a crafter not to be able to go home with all of the fun stuff that I tried. But this was something that was on my list. I made a list of about 10 things that I knew I would have to have after the show. And these pencils were most definitely on the list. So now I'm going to continue on putting white on the paint brushes. And I'm not going to add individual color to these. I wanted a contrast with the terracotta. So they have this beautiful bluish light gray that I will add as the base color on the paintbrushes after the white, of course. And then I'll shade them with the darker gray. It's a perfect cool and warm for this image, and also gives me like sort of a play on a black and white photo and a sepia photo with those two colors. Don't ask me how I come up with this stuff. It's just my crazy brain. So now I will go back with some darks because you really need good darks to make, even if you're doing monotone, just to make your images pop a little bit. And I'll add just some dark details that you'll see in the finished photo. I'm super impressed with how these blend. You don't get a waxy buildup until you have the right number of layers. They're very easy to move, multiple layers of color, and the flipping is flipping awesome. I'm not going to lie. So I think you'd be very pleased with them. One thing I know you're going to be pleased with is they're much less expensive than a lot of the pencils that I've showed you. I definitely have champagne taste in pencils, and these are spectacular and a great value. So these will be on my desk quite a bit, I'm pretty sure. I think you'll really, really like them. So here's what this looks like, and I'm going to show you the little bit of the shine that you get, like you always want with colored pencils when you're done blending. I think that makes for a nice textural contrast on the card, and it's one of the things I love most about pencils. So I hope you've enjoyed this. Head on over to Split Coast to see what our team has to say about these pencils today. There's a link in my blog post and on YouTube. And thanks so much for watching.